you're welcome. I'm not going to be singing tonight. You can thank me afterwards. But I'm not really much of a singer, but I love playing with little kids because they say the most amazing things. You notice that the parents out there have. I volunteer at this organization for kids with disabilities or like in foster care, and it's super cool because I get to play with kids for like a solid 3 hours. And they say the craziest thing. I was watching a 7-year-old boy, and he told me he wanted to be 4 things when he grew up: a fighter, a hacker, a policeman, and a chef. I cannot imagine having 4 jobs lined up for me after college. I'm just worried about one. The most unrealistic thing he said to me, though, is that he wants to be a homeowner. A homeowner in 2018? There's no chance. I can't believe this little boy and I are in the same generation, though. Because you know, like the millennials are having a hard time finding houses right now. I'm not a millennial, I'm a Generation Z, and I'm worried about finding a house, an apartment, anywhere to live. Still a little concerned. But I cannot believe this little boy and I are in the same generation. I think there really needs to be a split between the younger part of my generation and the older. Like, it'd go millennials, people who watch 90s cartoons but not in the 90s, and kids who have never seen the sad dog movies where the dog dies at the end. You notice that they stopped making those? They're gone. It amazes me, though, how the older part of my generation have no idea how to play with little kids. Like, I was playing hide and seek, and I'm like, oh, he wants you to find him. He's like, there he is. Found you. Not as much fun. Because you have to really draw it out when you're playing hide and seek with a little kid. It's more like an Olympic sport of how long you can take by dramatically looking under everywhere a kid could not possibly be before finding the kid. Because the problem is, when you find the kid, that means you have to hide. Do you know how hard it is for me to hide? I am 5'8". I don't hide anywhere. When you're too big to go down the loop-de-loop slides because your legs keep on touching the sides and you're not going down the slide, it's too late to play hide and seek. You can't hide. Election day is almost coming up. A few more days. Woo, go America! So there's only a few more days I can use this joke about registered voters. I know you guys have seen them around campus. People with the clipboards, they stopped coming because it's too late to register for this year. Don't forget about next year. You can always register. But I was in my dorm standing outside my suite. And I was on the phone and I saw 2 registered voters come to my floor. And it's like I woke up in a horror movie. I could see them and they make dead eye contact with me. So you know there's no getting out. I've been on the Indiana Jones ride at Disneyland, so I know I should not have made eye contact. But it's too late for that now. They go to either ends of the hall. And they start going door to door asking if you're registered, right? And so I hang up the phone, right? And I'm trying to swipe into the dorm. How many of you guys live on campus in the dorms? Any of you? A few of you? Okay, just so you know, do not try to unlock your door when you're scared. Door locks smell fear. This isn't working. I'm swiping and nothing's happening. The little red lights flashing up, like I just entered Lord of the Rings. It's like I Sauron right there. But there's no way I'm gonna get into this room before the voters come. But by the luck of God, it opens. After 30 times of swiping in. So I walk in, or I slam the door shut, and I hear them, right? Obviously they saw me go into my room, but they're knocking anyway. Silence. I was tempted to crawl out the window at this point, but the problem is I'm on the 4th floor and the window's only open 4 inches. And when you're too big to go down the swirly swirl slides, you're too big to climb out the window. But I hear them again, you're like, chop, chop, chop. And I go and I peek in the hole and they're gone, right? It's like I made up this figment of my imagination. My worst nightmares are registered voters. Thanks, that's a little delayed, but thanks guys. I think the craziest thing though is that registered voters are the worst thing on college. I thought it'd be drugs personally. It's not the case at all. I have never once been offered drugs. I don't know if I'm insulted by that. I don't look like I could hang with you guys. I could hang. A little bit of relief though, because I know how to say no to peer pressure, but people don't know how to take a no. That's fine. In 5th grade, I did the DARE program. You guys remember that? It was say no to drugs and everything. And they taught you excuses in 5th grade how to say no to drugs, because it's a very big problem for 5th graders. And so it would be like, okay, just distract them or like change the conversation. Right? I like to stay in practice with those though. So now I use it to get out of group projects. People will be like, hey, do you want to meet up this Saturday to work on the poster? Oh, you know what? I think my mom would be so disappointed in me. I got my career ahead of me. I can't waste it on this one project. I have a fancy Apple Watch, which is super cool, but I used to have a Fitbit like 2 weeks ago, right? And the problem with the Fitbit is that it's really low battery, which is great, but the problem is it takes a little bit to be able to tell the time because the display doesn't stay on, just like the watch. But the watch is a little bit more sensitive because it got a little smarter since like 2012 with the Fitbit. It's unfortunate though because there's no like easy way to check the time now. You have to be like, yes, 6:25. You know, you can't subtly do it. I was doing an interview with someone, and like I'm asking him like, what are your life goals? What do you want to do with your life? While like looking like I'm bringing a dance move back from like 2013. It's not the best or smartest idea. And unfortunately, that's my last joke for the night. Thanks for not laughing at any of them.